In regards with the changes in the Caribbean based on the new agreement between the OECS countries, we've received mixed information. One thing is for certain that some of the countries have already implemented the changes in the pricing. And because there is harmonization now between the different countries, we have come to understand that, for example, the donation amount between all the countries for a single applicant is going to be set at $230,000 US. There might be some changes for families and other dependents. However, the single applicant pricing has been pretty much fixed. Some countries have been a little bit more forthcoming and straightforward with their updates. For example, Antigua has released a circular from the government side explaining what happens next. Essentially what they've done is that they've given a 30-day grace period for the files to be submitted. So there is the extension of the deadline from 30th of June to the 30th of July. One of the reasons why Antigua did this is because they're the only country within the Caribbean that needs to go through a parliamentary process to change pricing. So the other countries don't need to do this. They can do an executive order, but Antigua has to go through the parliament, and the parliament session is being tabled in the next couple of weeks. Some other countries like St. Lucia have also given certain extensions on the deadlines amounting to about 2 to 3 weeks for files to be submitted. However, we see that between the 21st to the 24th of July, all applications at the current pricing will need to be submitted, and anything beyond that's definitely going to be the new pricing. There is still some speculation on how the real estate options are going to go. Based on what we've seen from Antigua, there's actually a reduction in the minimum investment requirement for the real estate option from $400,000 to $325,000. However, we predict that the joint investment option, which was something Antigua provided before, where two people could invest $200,000 each, will probably be taken away. However, we're not very clear. There is expected increases in the real estate investment requirements in Grenada and Dominica as well, again to reach that $300,000 mark. And then for some of the other outlier options like the St. Lucia bond program, we expect to see no changes whatsoever. I think at this point, for people that are looking to invest at the lower price point, time is of the essence. They really need to act very quickly. Some of these programs can have reasonably complex set of documentation requirements, which means that in certain jurisdictions, these kinds of documents do take some time. So for whoever who's interested to apply for citizenship at these current prices, it is important that they move as quickly as possible. For the others that are still on that decision-making phase, keep in mind that definitely the 31st of July is going to be that final deadline before the prices change. I don't see any issues with the price actually changing, because these were the prices that were set previously until everybody started reducing their prices to start a little bit of inter-country competition within the Caribbean. And this whole idea by the OECS to harmonize all this stuff has been a great suggestion, because this means that everybody's going to receive the same kind of offers in terms of the investment costs and things like that. So I think it's a good thing. Of course, when you compare it to the past, you will realize that clients need to spend more than what they would have had to do. But this is just this is how these kinds of programs work. The investment amounts change. These kinds of changes are happening not just in the Caribbean, but also in Europe and many other places. And everywhere, it's an upward trend. So for people that are looking to start, this is pretty much the last couple of weeks before they have to pay these new prices. So with the harmonization of pricing, the clients might face a decision that they need to make as to which country to choose, because the prices are pretty much going to be constant throughout. I do see that there is going to be changes when it comes to family applications, because the minimum is set basically for a single applicant. And again, there are still significant factors that make these countries different when it comes to specifically suggesting these to certain family structures. For example, if you have a family that has siblings that are older than the age of 18, Antigua makes the most amount of sense, because there is no requirement for any specific age cutoffs for Antigua. Or if you have a sponsored application where the main applicant does not have the funds to meet the requirements and is being sponsored by somebody else. Again, programs like St. Lucia or Antigua would make more sense because they're just overall less expensive in terms of that sponsorship cost. So there are many other factors that would come into play. I do expect to see that some of the countries that have maintained lower costs for families, or the addition of family members, might kind of keep that trend still. And then countries that have always kept it at a very high bar would probably continue to do that. So yeah, I think that would be the main kind of deciding factor going forward. So the term citizenship by investment should be seen from the perspective of the government that's offering these programs, not really from the client's perspective. And their idea is for clients to invest into their countries. And that is why the word investment is used. In a way, clients that are investing to specific programs in these countries, even though that's in the form of money that essentially goes away from the client, they are looking to invest into these countries, into the future of these countries, and into the infrastructure and various aspects of these countries. And this is why it's called citizenship by investment. The other side of it, of course, is that there are specific investment options available as well. There are real estate programs, bond options, for example, or even business investments that can get citizenship for clients in the Caribbean. And that is where the more traditional meaning of the word investments comes into play. But definitely when we see it, we want clients to understand that this is not purely an investment just for them. It is an investment for the country, and they need to realize the differences between those two ways of looking at it. Yeah, the Caribbean nations definitely will continue to be an important destination for people looking for second passports. And the reason behind that is, firstly, these countries offer huge benefits. The visa-free travel that these passports afford, the tax benefits that clients have by setting up either corporate entities in these countries or by being personally tax resident there, and the fact that these are Commonwealth English-speaking nations that offer a second passport, which is something rare to come by in the rest of the world. So there is definitely opportunities for clients to take advantage of the various benefits that these countries offer. In terms of the increase in price, it's just a mental adjustment that clients need to go through. Keep in mind that these programs are targeting high net worth individuals. They want high net worth individuals to come into these countries and invest into these countries. And I think for a real high net worth individual, the difference between $100,000 and $200,000 to get a passport, when it offers so many benefits, I think it's not going to be hugely significant to their decision-making process. We're going to see a lot of people that really did not have significant amounts of money trying to get these passports dropped by the wayside. That is unfortunate. However, it is going to be a consequence of these increasing prices. But yes, if you were to look at the amount of money that St. Kitts or some of the older programs requested from clients to obtain citizenship in the past, and if you were to kind of adjust those amounts for inflation to today's money, I think some of the initial amounts were much higher than the $230,000 or $250,000 that's being asked of right now, and they were popular programs back then. So I don't see any change in the amount of interest that clients will have towards these programs. There's probably going to be a small period of adjustment in between when everybody just gets used to the fact that they have to now pay more than what they did 2 months ago. But once they get over that fact, I think the interest will return.